Good morning, WrestlePool fans. It's WrestlePool Wednesdays as we are here the morning after a huge night of NXT wrestling. I'm Hosier. That's Bear. We are hashtag those NXT guys. And Bear, it was a night of firsts last night on NXT as we have four brand new number one contenders, all four chasing the title for the very first time. NXT No Mercy is shaping up to be possibly a night of real firsts.
Yeah.
And let's get right into it. We start with the women's eliminator match as Sol Ruka entered first. Very good match, very fast paced.
Yeah.
Sol Ruka lasted to the very end as Jada Parker came in sixth, cleaned house, and became the new number one contender for the NXT women's title and will face Roxanne. So my question to you, is Jada Parker the person, the woman, to take the title off Roxanne going into a brand new era of NXT? We know who's coming. We know the women that are showing up.
Right.
Is Jada Parker that person to carry the women's division into the CW and into what the future of the NXT women's division will be? What say you, Bear?
Not yet.
Wow. Okay.
Not yet. Listen, we're big Jada Parker fans.
Huge.
Love Jada Parker. We've been watching Jada since, we've been going before she really took off on this trajectory where she's at right now. We were watching Jada on the NXT live house shows here in Davenport. Just like, she's got everything. She is the entire package when it comes to the wrestling is great. Her character, her presentation, who she is in the ring, all of it. Love every single bit of it. It's not the time. It is not the time for Jada Parker to beat Roxanne, because Roxanne is really on this run with that title that is Mandy Rose-esque when it comes to NXT. She's on this run with the title that where, Mandy has the longest reigning women's NXT champion, I should think.
I think so, yes.
And so Roxanne, if there's anybody in NXT right now who should break that record, it's probably Roxanne. I would, and she's just on that, like, because of all the heel turn and what she's done with her character and how she's improved from that, just go lucky, happy. So I just want to see more Roxanne keep this title and people keep chasing her. Jada could carry the title, but like, she doesn't need it. Like, this trajectory, she hasn't needed it at this point. Like, she doesn't need the title. She just keeps, her stock just keeps rising. So not yet. I don't think it's time for Jada, for Roxanne to lose it. I don't think it's the right time for Jada. Jada is going to be an incredible NXT Women's Champion. It's not the right time.
I have to agree with you. As much as I root for and absolutely love watching everything that Jada Parker brings to the table, I have to agree with you, Bear, that it is the Roxanne Perez era right now in the women's division. And with what's coming down the pike in terms of who's coming and who are the new challengers, I think it is best to have your top woman be champion heading into the new TV deals and with the new free agent acquisitions.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see Roxanne versus probably all three of the incoming NXT new women wrestlers. So
100%.
I would have to agree with you that although I think if Jada did win, I think she would be an incredible champion because, like you said, the in-ring work getting better every time she goes out. Her promo skills are top-notch.
Yes.
The character and the development there has been outstanding.
Yes.
She's really grown into who she wants to be
100%.
on TV. But yeah, no, it's definitely still the Roxanne Perez era.
I here's what I will say, and in no way, shape, or form should Damian Priest be thought of as a transitional champion.
Yeah.
I thought he was a great world heavyweight champion. Yep. It was an incredible cash in, Money in the Bank, all that. But there is some sort of there's some idea of Damian wins it at WrestleMania so that Gunther could win it at SummerSlam, right? Because we're not going to have Gunther beat Drew at SummerSlam.
No.
Like, we're not going to do that. If Jada wins this title, she will not in any way, shape, or form be a transitional champion, but I see it being a run like Damian's. a run where it's a short title run, which are becoming less and less, which are becoming more rare, I should say, in the WWE short title runs. It's a short title run from No Mercy to maybe Iron Survivor in December, just before the new year, and the reason is because they don't want Roxanne to lose to a Stephanie Vacour, or a Julia or Delta. They would rather put Jada in that position to drop that. It'll be a great title run. She 1000% Jada will not. I will never consider it to be a transitional champion, but the idea would be that that's what moves a story forward best, so that we maybe protect Roxanne a little bit, or things like that. So I think if Jada wins, we're looking at a Damian Priest-esque run with that title, which I'm fine with, but I would much rather Roxanne. I would rather Roxanne. There's so much hype around Julia and Stephanie and Delta coming in. Let Roxanne run through them all. Let Roxanne beat all three of them. Like, what does that say about the NXT developed women? Let Roxanne keep that title through all three of them showing up and just beats every one of them.
That's it. Bury them all.
It's That's not burying them. I mean, it's
they shouldn't win their first title match, is what you're saying.
No, I
None
don't
of the
think.
three. Okay.
I don't think the three. No, they should not win their first title match. This isn't Ethan Page, which it wasn't his first. It was his second title match.
Second, yeah.
But I mean, like, also keep that special to Ethan, right? Like, let's keep that. Like, Ethan Page came in 40 and within only 40 days of being in NXT, won the NXT championship. Let's keep that stat special to Ethan. Let's not do it for every new, because then that's going to be the expectation for every new free agent that the fans.
They win the title within the first 40 to 50 days. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Very well said. There's nothing more I can add to that because you nailed it.
I try to nail things.
Yes. All right. So moving on. So last week or the week before, Wendy Chu stole the North American Women's title from Kalani Jordan.
Right.
And last night, Wendy Chu versus Lola Vice. Wendy Chu with her infamous pillow.
Yep.
Used the pillow to hit Lola Vice when the ref wasn't looking. But unbeknownst to any of us, the North American Women's title was inside the pillow, and she used it as a weapon to beat Lola.
Right.
But before that, Kalani Jordan had come in, made a run in, and Kalani was like, hey, you have my title. I want it. But let's settle this at No Mercy. So Wendy Chu beats Lola Vice, then gets her title match against Kalani Jordan at No Mercy. Wendy Chu is such an interesting character to me.
Yeah.
This is one where I can see Wendy Chu possibly winning.
That's interesting.
I could, because they seem to be very high on her since she's come back. She's been in the midst of a lot going on with a lot of different people.
Right.
I don't know if I'm sold on the character.
I'm not. I'll say that right. I'm not. I'm not sold on the character. But I also wasn't sold on the bubbly pop like
the baby
Poppy,
one,
the baby.
right?
Yeah, I wasn't sold on that. So in my opinion, if Wendy Chu does win that, it's literally just to get the belt on somebody else.
I agree.
That's a transitional championship. And I hate to say that, right? Like, you hate to but
it's a fact. This is what happens. Is
Right.
you don't want a certain somebody beating, Kalani might be a top baby face to you. You don't want her losing to that person.
Right.
You'd rather have her lose in some.
See, which is something that I so disagree with, actually, like in pro wrestling, right? Like, I so disagree with this. Let them lose.
I agree.
Because we're gonna come to, we'll talk about it, but this, like, look at Cody. Cody losing at WrestleMania 39. It's so funny. Him and Randy just talked about this on what do you want to talk about? They just, like, Randy was like, oh, when you lost at 39, I was so heartbroken. Yeah, we all
were. Absolutely.
And then we became so invested. So let them lose to whoever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this whole protection thing needs to be a thing anymore, because fans, we're back to a point where in pro wrestling, and you can really work this with NXT because of how developmental it is, and we're back just invested in the stories. Yes, we want to see great wrestling. We want to see, but I'm sorry, like Roman probably doesn't have any 5-star Meltzer matches because it's not the AEW type match.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's still like I could watch a Roman Reigns match any day of the week. Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez at Heat Wave.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Incredible. Great match. Not your flibby flop, like sure, 4 3/4 pop rocks, but like great match. And it's about the story, right? And we let Lola lose. And one thing that I think I'm a little like about is why are we not continuing that? Like I want to see Lola challenge Roxanne 3 more times.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen. I want to see. I'm happy to see Jada. I'm happy, but so let them lose.
I agree.
Let Kalani lose. We're going to be more invested in Kalani if you let her lose to whoever you're afraid of her losing to.
If that's what they're trying to do, but I completely agree. The whole protecting thing, because you could lose and still look good.
Oh, 100%.
You know, it's just a matter of the wrestling match itself. If it delivers and she loses a hard-fought match to Kendall Gray,
right,
and it's a great wrestling match and it has all the things you're looking for in a women's wrestling match, Kalani can still be exactly where she is on the pecking order of the card in the women's 100%. Division, but lost a really good match to a really good opponent. Right. Instead of this idea, we have to take the title off her to this person because there'll be some shenanigans, and then this person's just going to go 2 months from now and lose to the person we want to put the title on. Feels like that's kind of should go away in wrestling. It should. I completely agree with you.
Like, I really hope it does, because it's just, it limits the story.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it limits the storytelling. Look at what Gunther and Priest did at SummerSlam. Great match.
Yeah.
I don't think Priest was like, I'm not less invested in Priest than I was with, than I was before. Because it just delivered, and like just or even Sammy and Braun at SummerSlam. Really great. Am I less invested in Sammy?
That went 6 minutes, which was nonsense, but we did get the 2 out of 3 falls. Sammy and Braun that went almost 30 minutes.
Right. So I'm all.
So you don't see Wendy Chu winning this. You don't think.
I'm on the fence. I hope Wendy doesn't win it. I don't think it's she's. I think people are. I don't think people are invest. There's something about like being invested in a character and a pro wrestler versus just like being fascinated or like this is very interesting what she's doing. I don't think that I'm not behind it. I can't speak for all fans, and so but I just don't. I don't. When I see her come out, I don't feel like the fans are like. Yeah, behind this whole thing, like, or invested in it, like like we are a Joe Hendry or even like Kalani or Jada or something like that. So I don't think it's the right time.
I'd have to agree with you, but it's going back to like the whole transition champion. She might be that if that's what they want to do, or they're going to let Kalani keep the belt. So then the next part was a little fuzzy because a certain soon-to-be 3-year-old invaded my territory while I was watching wrestling. So the No Quarter Catch crew was in the ring. Charlie Dempsey was talking about the Heritage Cup. Out came Obafemi. He like interrupted them. He was talking about being the most dominant champion in NXT or in WWE. And then out came the family, the Don, Capiche. He came out, and Charlie Dempsey thought he was there to get a rematch for the Heritage Cup, and Tony was like, nope, I got my eyes on something bigger, turned to Oba. They kind of stared off. Oba clocked him, and then Tony just picked him up and slammed him into the mat and kind of held the title, or then put the title on top of Oba, and Oba was laid out as Tony was standing there. So then Ava made it official, as only Ava could. Tony D is now the number one contender for the North American title versus Obafemi. And this is one where I'm going to let you just go because I know you have you've booked this.
I've booked this.
You've booked this in your mind. So go ahead.
Tony D should lose this one to Ova. 100%. Here's the thing. There's an inkling in my brain that Tony beats Ova. I think if there's anybody in NXT right now who should beat Obafemi, it's Tony D. Because there is nobody who needs it more, in my opinion, than Tony D. Not because we don't love Tony D. It's because we love Tony D and the family, and I think fans are super invested in him and the family and what they're doing. They're very, very good. Everything about them is very good. Love it. So for me, there is a little bit of they might pull this. But if you do this right, you want to get people really behind Tony. Again, he loses this match. I would go, there needs to be a 3 or 4 match, whatever, storyline with this. And every single time, Tony comes just a little bit closer, just a little. And every single time, Oba gives him his chance and gives him his chance. It's kind of like what we did with Wes. Wes got this a little bit where but no triple threats, no nothing. Just give me straight wrestling the entire time. Let these two. And every time, Oba's just the better man on the night, except for that last time. That last time, Tony's finally got it figured out. He knows how to beat Oba, and he does. And I think you do that. I mean, you could do that at Iron Survivor, or you could do this all the way to Stand and Deliver. You could go with this because this is great. You have Obafemi, who is this absolute monster who it looks like nobody's taking the title from, and you have this believable underdog. I think people believe that Tony could beat Oba because he's got the size, and look what he did to him. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the wrestling, he's got all the stuff. But it's just one of those things where it's every time I just want to be heartbroken because he comes so close. Heartbroken. And then finally, guess what? At Stand and Deliver, Tony finishes his story. So that's where I would go with. I just think that you can run with this. You have two people who are incredible in the ring, who are their presentation, everything about them is right. And you could just take this North American title to another level if you did this story correctly.
I'll tell you what, you ate your Wheaties this morning.
Dude.
You are killing it right now. I can't even add anything else because that's exactly what I would want to see. Because I, like you, am invested in the family and Tony D. And you're right. It is a believable underdog. I think that's what Tony D'Angelo is in this story. I want to see the underdog come out on top.
Which is so different.
Yeah.
Normally the underdog is they're the underdog. We don't think. But this is yes, Oba's this monster, but it's Tony can beat him. Tony can do this. And we're all it's, and so it's so interesting to have that. There's nobody else like that in NXT.
Yeah.
Everybody else against Oba is just an underdog. Tony, even an Ethan Page or a Trick Williams, there is something about Tony that I just go, he can beat him. He can do this.
Because the closest we've seen Oba being beat or down was against Duke Hudson.
Yes.
That match on NXT a few weeks ago. I felt like that was the closest we've come to Oba kind of being down and out in a match and someone actually having an upper hand. Because before that, it hasn't felt like Oba's been really challenged. And Tony D could definitely be that person to.
How cool. It'd be, so that would make Tony, he'd be a Heritage Cup champion,
2-time NXT tag champ, and then the North American champion.
He hasn't been NXT champ yet.
No.
So that's
he had one match against Ilya at Stand and Deliver.
Which I'm trying to think, is there an NXT Grand Slam champion? I don't think there is one.
I think the Heritage Cup is the one that throws
that off.
Yeah.
So if Tony could win if he wins the North American title, he'd be the first person who could probably really like, because 100% Tony D will be an NXT champion one day.
I agree.
He may very well be the first NXT Grand Slam champion, which again he's just a guy that I think like that he should be the one to do that. Like there's something about him and the whole thing with the family that makes me go, yeah, I want to see that happen for them.
Killing it, Bear. All right, and then finally the main event, the triple threat for the number one contender to Ethan Page's NXT heavyweight title. This had a lot to it. So the ref got knocked out. Ethan Page was trying to prevent the ref from getting in the ring to count for Joe Hendry. Trick Williams came in and gave his finishing move to Pete Dunne. It seems like that is going to be a match at No Mercy. It was a very good triple threat match that I was actually able to watch because the interference your daughter was running was over at this point. So Joe Hendry gets the win. He is now the number one contender. Wes Lee comes out. Well, he was in the match then. What's his name from the Rascals? Zachary Wentz came out, and they brawled to close out. So it was a major main event, a lot happening. Yeah. I think they set up 3 matches. We got Trick and Pete Dunne. Yep. We got Wes and Wentz, and then we got a TNA superstar as the number one contender for a major WWE world title.
Listen.
And just stunning. Like, he's popular. He's over. Yes. NXT Universe. We love him. Agreed. He's so much fun. But I honestly did not think that they would put him in this spot as the number one contender. And now I'm thinking, well, gee, how big would it be if Joe Hendry wins and goes on, Bound for Glory or a big TNA
with the NXT
championship.
Which is something that they missed with Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace should have beat Roxanne. 1000% Jordynne Grace should have beat Roxanne. Because we would have, it's not like Jordynne would have been a long NXT champion. It would have been very short-lived. But because then Roxanne can go to Slammiversary or something and beat Jordynne there for the title. If they do this, I will be in absolute shock.
Yeah.
That will be the shock of the year. Now, here's the thing. Joe Hendry and Ethan Page. This is not the first time they're doing this. We just did this with Jordynne Grace and Roxanne. And that was a good match.
Yes.
Maybe minus Roxanne's earring in Jordynne's earring in Roxanne's thigh. But that was a good match at Battlefield. Joe Hendry and Ethan Page need to deliver. If this is not better than that, they're going to get eaten alive. This match needs to be a 5-star match.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be all the flibbies. They're not those wrestlers.
No.
Nobody think that this is going to be like that type of match. But this needs to be, because just the idea of an outsider challenging for the NXT title, for the NXT championship, after Ethan Page, who was basically an outsider, came in and won it only in 48. It's insane what they're doing. But just the incredible story and what you can do with Joe Hendry taking that title, going to TNA with it, Ethan Page following him there, it's going to elevate everything. Bubba Ray talked about this with Jordynne and Roxanne about you're gonna light NXT on fire. People are because they're gonna be so excited to see that the WWE/NXT is doing something that they had never done before. So I'm in. I believe.
I think I believe too, because the whole, again, with the new TV deal and everything, they're trying to sell out 2 massive arenas to open NXT on CW. And I'm sorry, but Joe Hendry's a bigger star than Ethan Page.
Yeah, good point.
and he's very over, and the NXT universe loves him.
Yeah.
He's beloved everywhere he goes. So, to me, it makes sense to have Joe Hendry win, like you said with Jordan Grace, and I agreed that Jordan Grace is the person to beat Roxanne. Someone on that level
Right.
should be the one to take the belt off Roxanne. Joe Hendry may not hold the belt for long,
No,
but
he doesn't need to.
he doesn't need to. But having him be the flag bearer for your show going into all this new stuff that's coming, that's about as big as it can get for NXT.
Well, yeah.
And then also now the Wesley and Zachary Wentz match seems like it's going to take place at some point because they really went at each other.
I think it's happening at No Mercy.
It hasn't been made official. Ava, let us know via X
Ava,
if this is official. Let's go.
What are we doing?
Seriously.
Come on.
So No Mercy is shaping up to be one hell of a card.
Yes, it really is. Like, I think about, so we've got Jada and Roxanne. You've got Kalani and Wendy. You've got Oba and Tony, Hendry and Paige.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 matches.
Probably going to get Axiom versus Chase U in a rematch,
which will be a great match. And hopefully Chase U keeps those titles. I really don't want Axiom having those titles
agree.
again. But then to add to that, if you add 3 more matches to that, Wesley versus Zachary Wentz, Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams.
Right there. Stop. That's 4-hour pay-per-view quality right there.
Those are some. I would be the 2 matches that I would be most excited for on that night are going to be Tony D versus Oba and Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Because Trick, I think Pete, I've said, I don't know how many times I've said this, but Trick, people always get on Trick about his in-ring ability, which is getting better and better every time he's out there. Pete Dunne is the person to put Trick in the ring with, as they have now for several matches, to bring him to another level wrestling-wise. Yeah. And the fact that, like, a couple weeks ago we saw Trick lose to Pete, I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Because he's Trick Williams. Like, he's, you know, so that will be the match that I'm one of those 2 matches, the matches I'd be most excited to watch.
I'm with you. You were on fire today, man. That bowl of Wheaties and whatever you drank this morning, you killed it.
It's that body guy that I got going.
That's it. Moist and meaty.
Moist and meaty.
So now next Tuesday, we are going to attempt something.
Oh, yeah.
On WrestlePool that we have. Well, I don't think anyone has done, because I will be here holding down the fort. You will be out at sea enjoying a lovely family vacation.
Oh, yeah.
And you are hoping to join me live from parts unknown.
Where will be Tuesday? Tuesday will be in Puerto Rico. I'll be in Puerto Rico.
There you go. Chilling at Logan Paul's house.
Yo, can I go, Logan? Can I come stream from your house real quick?
You'll be inside the wrestling ring in Logan's barn.
Yo, that'd be amazing. Logan, hit me up.
And then we'll be live, hopefully, for No Mercy.
Yes, we will be live for No Mercy.
As long as you get back safely and I can come get you in a timely fashion.
Correct.
If I come get you.
If you come. This guy.
All right. That's it.
That's
we
everything.
Did it. That's everything. You did good.
I want to give the people.
You gave.
I want to give them what they need when it comes to NXT.
Yes, as we proceed to give you what you need, WrestlePool fans.
Well, thanks for watching. I am Bear. That's Hosier. WrestlePool for life.